I have just come up with this white spot material, and as you can see it's not as flippy floppy as some fabric would be, because I've been and best pressed this, Sue Ellen's Best Press, which is a sizing and a starch program, so it'll cut much nicer, and when I put it under the needle it will not crimp and pull as much as untreated fabric would. Now I've cut out the shapes. This is, you know, our little Sunbonnet Sue shapes, which have been pre-treated and cut as I showed you in the last video, so they're ready to go. The next thing I need to do is say, well, I know that Deborah may be working to a different pattern to me, but my decision, my personal decision, is that I am going to make this a 12-inch finished square, which means I am going to use a 12.5-inch template, because obviously I got 1/4 inch all the way around to fit it within, not quite square, to fit it within my finished project. So I'm just laying this on and using my rotary cutter. I'm just going to cut that and move away other fabric. I'm hoping this is in shot, because I'm just going to do all I need. There we go. Hopefully all I need to take away. Right, so as far as I'm concerned, that now is a perfect, I've checked that my dots are aligned against my lines, so that is a perfect 12.5-inch square, which is what I want to use. Let me just unclip that and put that back up on the wall, because I don't need any more. So there's my 12.5-inch square. Now I have literally cut it directly to size. If you're not happy with that, or a bit nervous of that, I know this is going to work out for me. You may want to cut it bigger and then cut it down after the fact if you're a little nervous. But I know that the amount of applique plus a little bit of embroidery we're going to do is not going to make an awful lot of difference to this whatsoever on the pull factor, which is something else we talk about. Now the next thing is, here is my printout, which we talked about. Aside from the applique squares, the applique shapes, my printer's not been very good on that or that yet. But now we look at, okay, how do we centralise this? Well, first off, now I got my complete square, I can finger press one corner and I can bring it back. Of course, the sizing helps me. I can finger press the edges. Now I got there's my centre cross line, so as long as I, you know, take a view and say, well, up and down you're right, side to side you're right, that centre cross is absolutely on my crosshairs of what, oh, millimetre that way, millimetre that way, and I can say, and I'll just take some low tack sticky. This is painter's tape or freeze tape, it's just paper tape, and I can say, well, low tack sticky, shove that on, a bit more, maybe a bit more, yeah, probably if I just put one over here as well. There we go, low tack sticky, she's not going to move. She's in the centre on that line, and my crosshair is right in the centre of my fabric. That is where I want Sunbonnet Sue to sit on my fabric. So my next stage is, I brought out my largest hoop, okay, this is my GR hoop, which obviously, as you can see, Sunbonnet Sue is going to fit in. Now it's wide enough, I could pinch hoop it, but I'm not going to. Just put it to one side for a moment, move my hoop out of the way, get my no-show mesh. Oh, find the end. Oh, is it big enough? No. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it's wide enough. So I'm just gonna turn this to one side so that I can just say, what? Oh, actually, I better do it the other way around so I can cut it. There, this is a particularly wide version. I got two. I got a short one and I got a wide one, depending on which hoop that I'm using. So I can say, well, that covers that, and I'll just cut a line so I can get rid of that out the way. So there it is. Whole new video that I could do for you is pre-tensioning hoops. That's a whole other video, but let's see if you understand that as we go. So my hoops are pre-tensioned, so the hoops aren't. So now with it squared up, I'll put the base in, I'll put the top in and press it down nice and neat. As I said, mine are pre-tensioned. I can't, you know, that's it. They're pre-tensioned and it works for me. As I said, that's a whole different video. The one thing that I will do, just to doubly ensure my hoop, is I got a magnet, so I can say, you get on there, get on there, get on there, and get on there, which will stop my frame from popping up from the hoop itself. Some people will say to you, here's an idea, you could take a nice, there we are, a nice strong pin, because I've got nothing as old in the top and the bottom. So you could take a nice strong pin and, I'm hoping this is on video, you could then pierce through and, got to use my nails now to make sure that pierce through and back through. See what I've done there? So there's no way it can move this way from the bottom. And again, oh, I've only got another that's much thicker. This is a flimsy one, but at the top I could do the same thing. So I could pierce through and find a way back through. There, I've done it, yeah? So now I have put a pin there and a pin there, so it can't pull this way, it can't pull that way. That's added extras. If you didn't have these magnets, you could do it this side as well. Those are added extra features. Some people realise you can do it and some people, you know, don't bother. But once I've done a nice design like this, the last thing ever I want is this hoop to jump or pull out and lose my flat surface I'm working on. So having done that, I'll turn my hoop the correct way round and take my material, my fabric. So can you see now I'm placing it on and I'm looking at it, you know, alright, I think that's in the middle, yeah. I would have hardly anything, because remembering the hoop structure is back here, so I still would have hardly anything to go under that hoop. And this side, I still would have hardly anything to hold in that hoop. So I'm doing, and I'm focusing. There's my centre line against the centre mark. There's my centre line against the centre mark. Yeah. If I just peel this back a minute, you can see my side mark, my creases on my side mark, and my creases on my side mark. So as far as I'm concerned, although it's not hooped, as long as I don't move it, that's centralised. And again, and this is only, because we're going to take this up in a minute, but it's only between here and my machine where things could go astronomically wrong. I just put a bit of painter's tape to say, oh please, between here and my machine, now I got you right, please don't move. So now I can pick it up, move it around, and it won't move. So this is very, very temporary between this table and my sewing machine. But it's, you know, if you're nervous, it can't move now. I could pick this up, turn it over, bring it back, it can't move. So it's exactly where I want it to be.